What's up, everybody? This is the Unstuck Podcast, and I'm your host, Drew Cause. Have you ever thought, how are people making all of this content and having a regular life? Or how do you make a month's worth of content while not killing yourself? If that's you, then stay tuned. So, I get this question asked a lot. How do you do it all? What can we do to make it work? And then the one that is asked probably the most, how do I set time to do it? So we're going to break this down, and I'm making it an episode because I want you guys to actually see that there's no one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it. And I'm going to just give you a couple ways. When it comes to content, it doesn't all have to be one way. So the content can be through video, through a normal post, through a carousel. It can be a voiceover. It could even be somebody else's work. Of course, you want to give them credit, but when we look at content, you have to look at it as a whole. When I look at content for myself, it's a little bit different than how I use it for my students. I look at content for me is I want to do video. And the reason why I go heavy on video is because this is how I connect with my online student or online audience. I don't have them physically in front of me. So video is one of my main ways of connecting with them. And I'm not saying that everything needs to be a video, but I rely heavy on going video first. I believe it gives a deeper connection. I also believe that it helps with clarity, and I also believe it helps with showing people emotion, right? They're not guessing if I'm yelling, if I'm happy, if I'm smiling. They get to see it all right there. With my clients, they can do that also. If their main job isn't being a content creator or a content coach, then they don't have to do that. So the first thing I always suggest is batch your content whenever possible. What does that mean, Drew? Batching is simply doing a couple things at one setting. A couple things at one setting. So let's say you were going to put aside an hour a week to do some videos. Within that hour, you wouldn't do videos going into Canva doing graphics. You wouldn't do various things. You would try to stick to that one thing. This will help you stay focused. This will help you get more done. And this will help with clarity. Because if you've ever edited anything, even if it's not a video, if it's literally just a document, editing always takes longer than you think. With that, also, when you start editing, you don't realize you start judging some of your work and you get off track really, really easy. So I would batch in one setting, one thing or one type of thing. For video, the cool thing about that is if you're using your phone, if you're using a camera, if you're doing it yourself or somebody else is doing it, you already have this setup. You're sitting where you want to sit. You're in a place where you might feel comfortable. So you can do a lot at once. I always suggest shoot your videos, try to shoot more than one when you do your videos. It's gonna be a game changer. Now within that time, if you're blocking out an hour, you can bring different shirts. This way you can change your clothing. And then now people are not looking at 10 videos with the same exact shirt. Still 1 hour, still one setting, you're changing your clothes. Now it seems as if you're doing different videos on different days. You can do the same thing with batching. If you were going to do like carousels or normal posts, you can batch it all at once. But I like to say when you batch on one type of thing. Don't try to do it all at once. And I'm telling you this because I've done it. I tried to do a video and then edit and then that. And I can tell you it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So batching is number one. The second thing I always suggest, I teach more in depth with my students, but I'll give you some of the game. Batching is first. The second thing is realizing your content doesn't have to be the exact same way as somebody else's. So somebody may feel that they want to do um, 1 minute videos and they want to be dancing the whole time. Nothing wrong with that. If you're a dancer, that's cool. Or they may want to do 1 minute videos and they're on like some real rah rah motivation type of stuff. Nothing's wrong with that either. Or your time may be, I just want to educate. So your style and how you do it is going to be based on your industry. My style, I don't do a lot of motivation stuff. I could, but my style is more so I want to teach you how to do something. So I'm a little more reserved, I'm a little more relaxed, and I'm usually sitting because I want you to slow down and learn so that you can go make your business better. So just because you may like viewing somebody else's style doesn't mean you have to adopt the same thing. Or you could switch up sometimes. You can do walking videos. I like those a lot. You can do videos inside of different places. You can do traveling videos. You can do just sitting here videos. Or even for your written content, you can do carousels, or you can do a post and then a video, or a post and then a GIF. You could take it far. But it doesn't have to replicate somebody else's style or someone else's system. Some people do the opposite of what I just taught you. They don't batch one thing. They do a video and then they do the editing and then they do the thumbnails and stuff like that. You could do that too. I'm not saying that you can't, but some people are going to just do things differently, and that's okay. You find out the style that works for you. So your batching is one. The second thing you're going to do after that is think about what's my style of how I want to do my stuff, and that's going to depend on who you are as a person and what your industry is. But the last tip of making a lot of content at once, let's say a month's worth, is you have to realize that things change. You might change. You might change your industry. You might change your avatar, the person who you're reaching. So I honestly don't suggest just going straight for a month. I've done it before. I've had people do it. It's not a bad idea, but I like to say think about 2 weeks. This way you can kind of hear yourself. You can feel things out. You can kind of start seeing, is this the way I want to keep doing it? And like I always say, it's not a one size fits all. I just don't suggest going for long periods of time. I know lots of people who say, I created a year worth of content and then I don't got to go on social media again. Well, you're missing some of the key points. You're missing engagement. You're missing if your stuff is really hitting home. And number three, as you are growing, some of your information is going to change. If you asked me years ago, should you use a mic when recording? I'd have been like, oh, it don't matter. And now I'm like, it matters because of your audio. So I suggest 2 weeks. But if you're going to do 30 days, batch your stuff, figure out your style, and then somehow, some way, you can schedule things. You got things like Hootsuite, Instagram lets you schedule things, I think, up until a week. Facebook Creator lets you schedule things. Try to schedule the things because now you don't have to worry about going inside of the app every day unless you want to. So you're going to batch, you're going to figure out your style, and then thirdly, you're going to schedule it. Now, the fourth one is probably the one that's going to make the most sense for most of you guys. Instead of doing it all on your own, you can hire somebody to do it for you. You can hire someone to help you, and we do that, where we have a person shoot about 15 minutes worth of videos per month. We do all the work so that they can actually show up confidently, looking good, sounding good, and we do even the scheduling for them and everything. So we take all of that off of their plate to give them a chance to go back and be with their family, to go do the stuff they love in their business and not worry about this stuff. But it gets done, because without content, your business will fail. It will sink, because content is how we speak to the world. So let me know in the comments, what are some questions you have? Let me know what you got out of the video. Better than that, make sure you get unstuck today, guys. Go be great.